Hi everybody, welcome to the WelcomeScreen feature walkthrough. My name is Dylan and I'm the CEO and co-founder of this company. We just launched in January of 2025 and we're already being used by hundreds of hosts around the world. And I'm super excited to announce these new features to them as well as new users. I hope you're as excited as I am about this stuff because in my opinion, this really changes the game. For those of you unfamiliar, WelcomeScreen is a product that allows you to elevate your guest experience with a personalized message and their name on the screen, promote your brand, get more direct bookings, provide them key information like Wi-Fi, and then also promote local businesses and earn a side income off that. So as you can see, I'm promoting local activities on Oahu. This screen is actually live in the short-term rental that I personally manage. And if anyone scans, books anything, I make 8% of that. And we do that through our partnership with Viator, which you guys can of course access as well. But anyway, enough of that, let's get right into the video. So the first thing I want to get into is actually breaking down the screen. I've seen a lot of comments on some of our social media posts. It's like, hey, what does it look like in real life? Like none of your videos really detail that. So I'm going to break it down for you. I've closed the blinds on the window so there's no glare or anything. And we're going to go through each part of the screen. So first and foremost, and arguably the most important part, is the welcome message. So as you can see here, I'm greeting my guests by their first name. This actually changes out automatically based on the reservation dates and time of day. You can then have a longer message which you can customize to whatever you want. You can change it per reservation, or you can just choose to leave the same one for every single guest. Up here, we got your date, time, and weather, just simple key information that your guests would want to see. And then right here, we have your logo. If you don't have one, it's super easy to make, don't worry. And then also your direct booking URL, which is super key, right? Because a lot of Airbnb, VRBO guests, they aren't really aware they can book with you direct. So giving them that awareness and letting them know they can do that is super important. And obviously there's tools that exist that do this already, but seeing it on the screen and giving them multiple touch points and making sure they see it multiple times is definitely super important. So seeing the logo with the URL, it's pretty clear that you're a brand and you're not just a listing on Airbnb necessarily. Along with the URL, I also have a QR code to my direct booking site, so they can scan that with their phone and go right to it, save it, for future use when they want to come back another time. And then for my other two QR codes, I've gone with this, which is Sunset Cocktails, which is like in the area where I run my short-term rental, is like a boat ride, which serves cocktails at sunset, obviously. Super nice activity and just something I wanted to promote, but I also do make 8% if any of my guests book that, which is also really cool. And then the last one, obviously, is my guidebook, which is a product that comes included in the Pro plan, or you can add it to the standard plan for a small additional fee. Just to show you how easy it is to get onto any of these QR codes, I'll show you how easy it is. Essentially, I got the camera app open. I'm going to scan my guidebook, open, and as you can see, I am in. Now, I'll get into the mobile guidebook later. I'll do some screen recordings and stuff like that too. But for the time being, let's focus on the TV screen. Now we've got the Wi-Fi, which I have temporarily changed the username and password because there's lots of strange people on the internet. I don't necessarily want them having it. And then of course my number and my email, which I've also temporarily changed. And then of course, last thing is checkout right at the end there. In terms of what I'm running as my background image, I have this custom photo that I've made using Canva. It's essentially a picture of Honolulu at night with this text overlay. And then of course the money maker, which is of course the local activities QR code, which leads them to my Viator shop from which they can scan, book local activities. Again, I make 8% if they do book anything within that next 30-day period after they visited. Now, one really cool thing I do want to mention, it's not currently out right now, but if you're looking at this in maybe a month, 2, 3 months in the future, I can't promise when it'll be out, but we will be having video backgrounds. So, instead of a gorgeous photo, you'll even be able to have a gorgeous video. And that opens so many doors. I already have some lined up that I'm ready to use, probably do a montage of local activities or beautiful shots of the island or something like that. But, you can get super creative and that's really going to unlock even more doors with this product. Now, I also want to show you what's going to happen if your guest scans this QR code. A lot of people are a little confused on how exactly this local activity stuff works. But let me show you. So of course, it starts with your phone. I get my mobile phone. I scan it like this. Now it is loaded onto my phone. Now I'm going to screen record and show you exactly what it'll look like on your guest's phone. And so here you are at my shop, bunch of different activities. I try to include a broad range so there's something that interests any of my guests. In terms of what happens when you click on them, as you can see, I'm here. You can pick a date, book, whatever. It's super easy and you don't have to deal with any of it. You just get paid out. Alrighty, that's it for the physical aspects and what your guests will actually see. Let's move into the portal and see how you can customize it as well as our different features in there. I'm now back at my desk and I'm using my laptop, so the webcam is slightly lower quality. Apologies for that, but you should be able to see my screen and we're going to go through each part of the software, what it does, how you can configure your screen and stuff like that. And for those of you wondering, yes, this is our humble US office in California. Okay, so here we are. We are in the portal. These are two just random examples that I have, and then this is the one I'm actively running in the short-term rental that I manage. Yes, I only manage one. I know plenty of people watching this will have many more, but our product works great for anyone who has even one property to, all the way up into the thousands. Just to give you an idea of the different designs you can go with, here is just an example I have. This is slightly different, maybe a zip lining themed one, a bit more green for those of you who aren't near the beach and maybe in the mountains, but same kind of idea. We do have plenty of other different layouts and designs. I just personally prefer this one. This is my personal favorite and one I recommend using. So this one's actually for retail stores. We do work with other businesses, not just short-term rentals. So if you do know a local business, or you are a local business yourself looking at this and you want to lighten up your space, promote local activities which you can make money off, maybe send your customers home with a guidebook for the local area, this is something I'd recommend looking into. We can definitely help your business just as much as we can help a hotel or a short-term rental. And then of course, the one I have on behind me, this is what I'm running. And so the great thing is you can always preview exactly what your screen is going to look like before it gets shown on your TV. That way, if you're not ready to publish or anything like that, you can test it, do whatever you need to do, preview it, and then move it onto your TV. Okay, let's go into the configuration portal. And for this, I'm actually going to use my personal one and show you exactly what I've done. Okay, so one of the great things about WelcomeScreen is that you get unlimited screens per property. So you don't pay per screen. If you want to have it on 3-4 TVs, totally fine, doesn't cost you anything extra. So as you can see, I have it on the living room, bedroom 1, bedroom 2. So I have 3 screens in total in that condo. And then for my living room test, this is like for my own personal living room, and then obviously the home office, which is right here. And then so let's get right into the messaging. Right here we have Aloha, and then this guest code is what allows you to change the name automatically based on the reservations in your PMS. This is where you write your message. Carousel images, so you can have up to 6. Obviously, I'm showing a static one, but if you want to have multiple images, that's totally fine. You can too. And then, as I mentioned before, in the future, we will have a video option as well. I don't have a background image selected. That's for different layouts, which I'll get into in a second. But background music, this was like one of the most heavily requested things by our users. People love having music and tunes playing from their TV for when their guests walk in and stuff like that. But you can pick from our 5 songs that we preloaded, and then you can also upload your own. All right, so moving down, this is where you attach your logo. Then you obviously use your website URL, check in, check out, hours of operation. You can choose to show this or not show it. Wi-Fi details, contact information, and then QR codes. So it's super easy to upload QR codes. It's not going to let me because I already have my Max 3, but essentially you just put what you want the QR code to be called and then the URL that you want it to redirect to, and it will generate it for you. There's no manual effort on your end, but if you do have a QR code that you already have and you just want to upload it, that's also an option. Upcoming events and recommendations. Now, I'm not going to do this on this screen because this is live, but essentially if I go back here and just to show you what would happen, I can go here, upload, I'll do favorite, food spot, category, food, distance 1 mile, just to show you what would happen. Now, you wouldn't do it on this particular layout, obviously, because it's blocking the text and stuff, but your recommendations and upcoming events will show in like a column right here. So that's another way you can go. And then you can either put the advertisement in the middle, or if you're not advertising at all, you can just have a pretty picture in the middle, and then you'll have your message and then recommendations here. Anyway, back to my property. Weather settings, this is just where what city you want your weather to be based off essentially. And then what temperature unit you want to be. If I know some countries use Celsius, some use Fahrenheit, so we gave the option to switch. This is the guest list. I'm not going to show you the real names, obviously, because these are real people and I don't want to get in trouble privacy-wise. But as you can see, I have all my upcoming guests along with the dates. The name is going to change based on those dates. And then so we do have the option to force sync it. We do update every 8 hours automatically. But if you get a lost minute booking and you want to force update it, you totally can. Guidebook. So this is what I wanted to get into. This is what was actually showing on my phone. I'm not going to do the screen recording since it's pretty much the same as the preview here. So we just released this. For the time being, the image, message, Wi-Fi, contact, all this stuff will be exactly the same as it's on your TV. We are going to give people the option to change this stuff in the future, although for the most part, there isn't really a reason not to have it the same. That's why we haven't developed it yet. So But if you see this in the future, this might already be an option that's done. But in terms of information, you can come in here. Obviously, I have my check-in, check-out information, house rules, trash. You can have really simple information, but you can also go into more details. And then again, I have my direct booking website so that they're aware they can book direct. You can have a mailing list. You can get super creative, whatever you want. You can attach images in here just to show you like what kind of the editing portal looks like. You can have images, video URL, text. I just kept it really simple because it doesn't need to be more complicated than that. But the options are there for you if you do want to get crazy with the customization. And then finally, we have the area guide. So this is just giving your guests, like a personalized map that you've curated. For me, I've just gone with local activities, food spots, and then best beaches, the best things about Hawaii. And then, so obviously I have a local activities, which leads to the same link that the QR code on my screen does. Again, anyone books anything through that link, I make 8% of the revenue. Awesome. Is it going to be life-changing money? No, but who doesn't want a free little side income, right? And it's totally passive. You literally don't have to do anything once it's set up. Best beaches. So I just have my favorite beaches here, and then my favorite food spots along with a link to the map, how far away they are, and stuff like this. And guests really appreciate this, and it also provides another extra level of professionalism to your brand. It's almost like your Airbnb has its own app. Of course, we have your logo in the top here. If you don't have one, that's also totally fine, but it just adds something extra. I do recommend going with the Pro plan, which includes this. For me, I love it. My guests love it. It's just super useful. It also reduces silly questions about Wi-Fi and how to use a washing machine, all that kind of good stuff. So pretty sweet. Very excited about it. And as I said before, we're just going to keep on improving on it and making it better and better. Layout. So these are the 4 layouts you can pick. I always go with the 4th layout because it's my favorite, but there are these other ones. These are our original 2. These are the 2 newer ones. These are more based towards advertising. These are more guest experience. So again, it kind of depends on what you're going for when you're setting up your screen. So property details, this is just like the address of your place. You don't have to leave the exact address. This is not the exact address of my place, just for privacy reasons, obviously. Property name, that can be whatever you want. That comes from your PMS, or you can manually choose to change it. All right, now let's get into all the tabs that are on the side. Guidebooks, this is just so where you can manage your different guidebooks and stuff, right? You can add them here. You can clone them, delete them, preview them, whatever you want. It's just a way of managing them. Right, so now let's go to the monetize tab. This is what I was talking about on how you make 8% on local activities. It's super easy. We have a partnership with Viator. You can sign up here, and it's like a 10-15 minute process. You sign up, put in your payout information, and then you can essentially just grab links from their website and display them as a QR code on your screen, or make a custom graphic like I have, display it that way. I'll probably make a dedicated video to this, but we do have a step-by-step guide on exactly what you need to do to get it working, but it doesn't take too long and it's pretty simple. All right, on to PMS integration. So I am integrated with Hostway. We are integrated with tons of different property management systems. Just take a look on our website if you're not sure if we integrate with yours, but odds are we probably will, especially if it's one of the main ones. Subscription, this is where you can manage your subscription, see how many properties you have, see how many properties you're using, how many you have available. Same with guidebooks, how much is due and whatever. Obviously, because I'm on some weird custom annual plan from testing, but this is where you manage all that kind of good stuff. You can also update your subscription or cancel your subscription, right? Now let's go to users. So you can add other users if you want, your spouse to be on the account, or your VA or employee. You can easily add them on here, and then you can choose their level of access so they can, edit screens, deploy them, all that kind of good stuff. So this is the last tab setup. I've already set up my account, obviously, so it's going to be completed. However, if you were to sign up for a new account, you just go through this step by step, and we make sure that your account is set up properly from the get-go so you have no issues. And finally, if you do ever need support, you can come here, which will take you to our support email. We usually respond really quickly, and we'll try to help you get your issues figured out for you. Anyway, that's the run through of our product. If you're watching this in a few months, it might be drastically different. We release new cool stuff all the time, but I can guarantee you it'll be better than it is right now. So if you do want to sign up, 7-day free trial, no risk, cancel whenever you want. And yeah, get started. I mean, I love seeing what customers are doing. We have, as I said before, hundreds of people all over the world that are doing this currently, and some of the outcomes and some of the designs, I love it. It's my favorite part of running the business, is just seeing what people are doing with it and hearing how it's positively impacting their business. I hope everyone watching this is having an absolutely wonderful day, And yeah, feel free to reach out to us via our website if you have any questions. And until the next video, which could be tomorrow, could be in a week, could be in a month, see you next time.